So today I wanted to talk to you about the new moon that is coming in the sign of Scorpio on November 13th. Interesting that it's the number 13. And it's in Scorpio, which is a deeper, darker sign. So, last month we saw two eclipses, and this month there's no eclipses. We have made it through, guys. So November's astrology is a little less intense, but a Scorpio new moon can feel like a full moon. So get ready and buckle up. I'm Rachel. Rachel loves astrology. So if you have not liked and subscribed to my page, please do, and check me out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. So this new moon in Scorpio is going to be at 20 degrees. It is also conjunct, as all new moons are, the sun, and it will be also conjunct Mars. So what I think that brings is a intense desire to finish things that you have started and move on to something new. Whatever it is that you have been thinking about, it's time to put those wheels in motion, get those goals planned for the future. It could be in relation to anything that Scorpio rules, which is our intense, deep desires, our sexual desire, our drives. It's a sign of transformation. And our inner workings are very much brought to the surface whenever Scorpio is the sign that we're talking about. So it is always a good time during any Scorpio transits, new moon, full moon, different planets moving into this sign. And there are 3 planets currently in this sign, as well as I think Mercury. Yes, Mercury. So four planets are now in Scorpio. So it's time to dig deep, everyone. Like, quit the superficial bullshit and get it going. Whatever it is, the proverbial it. So I just think that the urgency at this new moon to do something new, make some changes, to clean up your dirty shit and throw it out, to make room for something positive and good to come your way. You have to have that room in your life to be open for whatever it is that may come your way that is positive, more positive. So it's a good time for always, with Scorpio involved, to meditate, to journal, to just do some deep thinking, do some occult work. You could use your tarot cards, it's a good time for divination. It's a good time to pay attention to your dreams. Scorpio is very much representative of the stuff that is subconscious in our minds coming to the surface. It's very much 8th house and 12th house type of energy. 12th house is more Pisces, but I see these two as very, very closely related. They're both water signs, and they both deal with some stuff that we've hidden. Now, I think, in my opinion, the stuff that we hide from ourselves on purpose or not on purpose, but, subconsciously, to preserve our well-being is found in the 8th house, whereas the 12th house is stuff that gets hidden from us without our knowledge, without our understanding, and we have to work a little harder, I think, whenever it comes to the 12th house than the 8th house. But anyways, this Mars being involved here is just going to push us to have some anxiety, I think, at this new moon, some restlessness that's going to push us forward to some positive things and to make some choices that we may have been putting off. Now, this is all opposite Uranus, and I think that even urges us more to kind of delve deep, think hard, and expect the unexpected at this new moon, because Uranus always brings some crazy shit that you didn't expect. It might be good, it might be bad, but either way, we're meant to embrace this. That is what astrology tells us is, these transits are happening, like it or not, deal with it and embrace it as best you can. Uranus is in Taurus, and this is a very sensual axis. So I want you to think about your intimacy levels. What have you maybe been ignoring with your intimate, encounters? What have you been, putting to the side? That we all have these drives and desires. We're human. Your sexuality is called into question and called into, for you to examine whenever Scorpio is involved in Taurus as well. So I think it's a time to really think about your sexual desires and embrace them. And I don't think we talk about sex enough in our, society. For as sexual of a society as we are, we sweep it under the rug and we act like no one has sex. A lot of people have sex, people, all right? We aren't all virgins, right? So that said, I think it's time to quit questioning your desires, let your freak flag fly, because Uranus loves that shit. And don't be afraid of your dark, deep inside desires. It's a good time to examine your shadow as well. Not necessarily in relation to your sexual side, but maybe that's included. It's time to take a deep look at the things you like to ignore about yourself that make you embarrassed, make you cringe, but you know what? They're still part of yourself and they're your truths, and you should live your truths. And I think that's what Scorpio kind of does a great job of doing in their lives and bringing to the surface for us to all examine and think about. So I'm going to go through, as always, our different signs, every sign, starting with Aries. So here we go. Aries, your 8th house is going to be highlighted by this new moon. So you might be starting, and the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. So you are going to get double trouble here. You're going to be hit hard by this new moon, and you're going to feel those desires rising to the surface. I think that you're going to maybe try some new things in the bedroom, try some new things to get to know your partner more intimately. If you don't have a partner, you might put yourself out there in the dating scene with a little more full force action, trying to get you some, which is okay, because we all have those days where we're like, I need me some of that, some sex, some whatever it is, to satisfy your desires. So, satisfy your desires, Aries. Don't question it, just do it, right? Don't think about it, do it. So the 8th house is also dealing with your intimacy. So with yourself, you might want to get to know yourself a little deeper at this time, which is always a good idea. Do some journaling, meditation, get out those tarot cards, especially in your case. That's going to be very helpful for you. It's a very intuitive house to have a new moon happening in, because it's going to bring in some new energy, new insights, and new goals maybe in the future here. So cool. Taurus, your 7th house of love and relationships will have this new moon in it. So 7th house is always marriage, partnerships. You might start a new relationship. You might get on a new dating app. You might meet someone new that rocks your world. You might get rid of someone so you can meet somebody new. Usually full moons deal with getting rid of stuff. But this new moon has a very Scorpio feel, and Scorpio can represent at times death and endings and transformation. So I see that as being part of this. You might see a relationship blossom because you were able to do that shadow work in the past. And here you are meeting someone new right now that rocks your world. So I hope that's the case. You might be dealing with your fears, your trauma from your past that creates these fears. It's a good time to deal with it now for you, Taurus. Gemini, your 6th house is going to be affected, and the 6th house rules over our day-to-day chores, our workload, our career, not so much our career, but our work we do for money in our career. So you might be seeing your workload increase. You might be changing jobs, switching jobs, starting a new job, whatever. You can also see your health involved here. So you might have some new health issues arise, or you might be starting a new diet or exercise routine. So you know what? Get it. Because Mars is also in that house. So it's a good time for you to just go for it. Yes. Cancer, your 5th house is going to be highlighted here. So your 5th house rolls over romantic encounters. So you might be feeling the romance now with Mars here as well for you. It's a great time to get it on, okay? Get those candles out, get those roses for your lover, get, the whips and chains out, whatever floats your boat, get romantic, whatever that means for you. It's also the house of children. You might have some new information come your way about your children. You might be starting something new with them, doing projects together, helping them in some way. They might be helping you. 5th house is also creative projects. So you might be starting a new creative project. Leo, your 4th house is highlighted. So your home life, your family, your relationship with mom are going to be on your mind. You might be seeing mom need help. You might be helping her. She might be helping you. You might be doing something new with mom. You might have new revelations with mom. You might have arguments with mom, with Mars there as well. You could be examining where you sit in your family. Your family life might be heavy on your mind. You might need to make some decisions, some changes, some choices. And you might be changing your home, moving to a new apartment, moving to a new house hunting. It's a good time for that for you, and it could be very exciting for you. Virgo, your third house of sibling relationships, short distance travel, and communication are highlighted. So you might be having the deep talks with your siblings right now. You might be planning a trip. You might be setting new goals for yourself when it comes to taking a trip. You will need to be careful of your communication now, because communication is going to be an active area of your charts and of your life. Your communication, you're going to kind of like be opening your mouth, inserting your foot. With Mars there, Mars is intense. So the third house, you just got to watch what you say. If you're going to communicate things, it's a good time to do it, but just be careful of your passion getting the best of you. Libra, your second house of finances, security, that's highlighted for you right now. So it's a good time for you to check out your budget, start a new budget. If you're opening up a new account, that could work out very well for you. And working on your security and your values, your own personal values could be highlighted right now. So taking a look at, like, are you really living your life the way you want to live it? What plans can you make for the future to really do the things that you value the most? Scorpio, your first house is highlighted, so you might be taking a look in the mirror and saying, I like what I see, I don't like what I see, and making the changes and plans, putting the plans into action that, will make you feel better about yourself. You might be dealing with self-esteem issues. You might be dealing with your self-confidence. You could be dealing with your own self-philosophy and making some changes. First house also can sometimes roll over your physical health, so be careful right now if you're, especially with Mars there close to your ascendant. You must be careful and guard against accidents. Sag, your 12th house is highlighted, so you might have some new revelations in relation to your mental health. Your dreams and visions might come to you very easily now. With Scorpio in the mix, Scorpio is very intuitive. So your 12th house, you're naturally pretty intuitive, Sag. And embracing that, learning to embrace that, slow down and pay attention to what's coming up for you right now is very important. Journal, meditate. I say that all the time, but you should do it. Pay attention to that voice in your head. Even, if you think you're crazy right now, it might be telling you some good things. And your dream world might be, active right now. Capricorn, your 11th house of friendship and social interactions is highlighted. So you might be making some new friends, doing some new things socially, putting yourself out there when you normally might not. As a Capricorn rising, this is all for your rising sign. You can look at your sun and moon sign, feel free. But right now, horoscopes are all based on your rising sign. So Capricorn, your 11th house, you may not be someone who's naturally outgoing, but you might be feeling a little more outgoing at this new moon. And you might be taking a look at your relationships, because Scorpio makes you kind of go deep and go within and think about, is this benefiting me? Am I making the friends that I want to be making? Do I need to make some new friends that maybe suit me better? So taking action to go do whatever makes you, brings those people to you in your life that you want in your life, go for it now. Also, I do bring up charities. Charities are highlighted in the 11th house, so you may be working on something charitable right now. Aquarius, your 10th house of career is highlighted. So you might be switching jobs. You might be getting a new boss. You might be getting some new work, co-workers. You might have some new ideas, new projects coming your way. New, always with a new moon. You might be setting some new goals for yourself in your career, and it could even deal with your money. So you might be coming up with some new ways to make new money. You might be starting a new side hustle. You could be getting very creative with Scorpio involved. So Scorpio, Mars right there, it's like urging you to do something creative, do something new, do something fun, spice it up a little bit. And Pisces, last but not least, of course, you are going to see this in your 9th house of learning and education and spiritual exploration. So you might be interested in some new spiritual practices. It's a good time for you to get out those tarot cards, get out that divination kit, whatever it is for you. Everyone does something different. to work on that which makes you feel more grounded spiritually. Work on learning something new right now is highlighted for you. So you might be learning something new, you might be teaching something new, you might be getting some books and self-studying, self-teaching yourself right now. And as a Pisces, it's not shocking because usually Pisces they love that shit. They love to dig deep and learn new stuff, spiritually especially. Also, you could be planning a trip ahead for the year ahead. Long distance trip could be coming onto your radar. You might be making some plans to figure out where you want to go, how much it might cost, that sort of thing. So I think this new moon in Scorpio is going to be a little intense for a new moon because Scorpio never lets us down when it comes to intensity. I think that we all need to collectively pay attention to our drives and desires and our intuition right now. And I think that we need to stop ignoring our shadow side because it's part of us too. So if you like this video, please do check me out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Like and subscribe. Have a good week ahead.